So I get to introduce our last main speaker. She's a great woman. Christine Spadafor is the CEO down at St. Jude's Ranch. And this is a great example of how we share resources and partnerships. I personally went down to St. Jude's Ranch to take a tour because I personally wanted to get involved with supporting what I thought was a phenomenal cause. I mean, keeping foster kids living together in the same house, I learned is a huge deal. I left there, I was literally driving back, and I called Sonia and I said, oh my God, you've got to go see St. Jude's Ranch. They desperately need your kind of services. And fast forward a couple years later, Christina will tell you just how great the partnership's been, but it's just a great example of just sharing resources. So Christina, if you wouldn't mind coming up.
Good morning. What an inspirational morning. And to our two young men, one of you mentioned about being proud. I think I speak for the entire community. When we look at how brave and courageous and resilient you are, as a community, we could not be more proud of you. And Ken, if you hadn't done that, I was talking to my staff at the table, I said, we are going to find a job for you. So if you don't like working for Ken, you can come work for us. We have a job for you. It is such a privilege to be here and such a great honor to be part of the Andson Foundation and also be in great partnership with Ken and the Boys and Girls Club. Clearly two organizations that are part of the fundamental fabric of our community, the community we love so much. As Ken mentioned, I'm with St. Jude's Ranch for Children. Just to set the record straight, which is how I usually need to do these things, we are not related to St. Jude's Hospital. I don't know Marlo Thomas. And as we like to say, they're big and rich, we're small and not. We care for abused, abandoned, and homeless children. And as someone said to me, you don't talk about what you can't see. And many times it's too hard for people to see our kids. They come from horrific circumstances. The kids on our Boulder City campus range in age from infants, newborns, to 21. And we also have a community program keeping foster brothers and sisters together on a regular basis through our child-focused sibling preservation program. And the Andson Foundation generously provides tutoring to both of those groups. Now, the kids that come to our Boulder City campus come with nothing but the clothes they're wearing. No socks sometimes, no toothbrush, no comb, no favorite little toy, no blanket. But one thing they do come with is brothers and sisters. And we put a high premium keeping those sibling bonds because the bottom line is really all these kids have left is each other. And so we want to make sure that that bond is preserved. So when the children arrive, they have been in 6, 7, the highest number I've heard is 16 broken foster home placements. So imagine you're 17 years old and you've lived in 16 places, or you're 10 years old and you've lived in 8 places. You've learned the world is an unsafe place and adults aren't to be trusted. So when these kids go foster home to foster home to foster home, it means they also go school to school to school. So we will get children in elementary school who don't know how to read, because whoever was caring for them kept moving them from school to school with no consistency, or quite frankly, they just forgot to send them to school. So our children typically are 2 to 3 years behind when they arrive. So how do you feel if you can't read and you're 8 years old and all your little buddies in school can read? That's pretty embarrassing. We had one young man in a math class get called to go up to the board, and he didn't know what to do. So on his way up to the board, to the blackboard, he smacks a kid in the back of the head, and what happens? He gets sent to the principal's office. A well-placed gesture to get him to the principal's office because it's less humiliating to sit in the principal's office than to stand in front of your peers and not know how to do a math problem. The Andson Foundation, through their generous support, is helping our kids overcome all of these challenges. They did some testing and again found our kids were about 2 to 3 years behind in school. They came in and started a structured tutoring program for the kids. And by the end of the school year, I'm so proud to say, for the kids behind 3 years, they had caught up 2.5 years of academics already. And so the difference that makes is enormous. Our kids go to school feeling proud and successful and competitive with their peers because they need to be. When they leave us, we want them to be independent, we want them to be wage earners, we want them to be successful, productive citizens in the community. And Andson is helping make that happen. Our kids are like other kids. The only difference between our kids and your kids is that our kids didn't get you for parents. So when our kids go to school, we want them looking like other kids because they are. And they're as smart as other kids, but they just haven't had those opportunities. And Sonia and the Andson Foundation are making those opportunities come true for our kids so that when they leave us, they will be holding their heads high, they will be confident, they will be competitive in school and ultimately competitive in the workplace. And we are grateful beyond words for the changed lives that the Andson Foundation is causing for our beautiful babies that we love so much.